New channel, new game, and a narrator to top it off. I think these videos are going to be a lot of fun. Hi everyone, my name's Charlie, and today, as you can see, we are here at Galaxica, our brand new thrill park for Isla Tropical. It's going to be a whopper of a series, and I cannot wait to show you. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. Hi, everyone. Again, my name's Charlie, the creative director, I guess you could say, of Isla Tropical. Everything that you've seen over the last 6 months has been from yours truly. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. And it has really been quite an honor, actually. More to get appreciation for expression that I haven't really done before. I've never really kind of played these games. I've always aspired to play these games on the PC, but for so long I've never really been able to do that. And obviously we had Planet Coaster on Xbox a few years back, but now I feel we've really got a contender in terms of what we can create. And in honor of that, I thought, what better way to create a theme park? So this is Galaxica, our brand new park that will be opening hopefully this year, fingers crossed, depending on how long it's taking. And essentially what it is a sci-fi theme park, or wonderland, fit for thrill seekers, for families, for everybody. But essentially what this is me explaining it to you as I'm building it, if that makes sense. So I thought the speed build kind of format would be the best way to do so, and also to introduce myself too. So I have no real kind of theme park architectural or in terms of actually building this in real life and using skills in real life and whatnot, I don't really have a lot of skills, but Planet Coaster alone has helped me massively in terms of building that. Oh, also, by the way, if you hear that noise or if you hear a dog bark, I have my little furry friend with me, and also I'm sat on a quite creaky chair, so please don't think I'm being untoward. But yeah, here we are. So we're in a brand new park with no kind of exterior or anywhere. It's just completely blank for us to build. And we're going straight in and building I guess the kind of signature part of the park, and the main sort of focus, I guess. As you walk in through the park, the idea is that you're going to walk underneath this structure. And if, say, it were a Disney hotel, I'm sure it would be a iconic... if this was a Disney build, it would be it would be a hotel, realistically. And that's kind of where I went when I was building it. Initially, it was going to be a show building through and through. So the plan, excuse me, the plan was always to have this as a show building, but I also wanted there to be an element of kind of like, do you know what? Why not go for it? Why not take it to the next level, if that makes sense, and do something that is probably a little bit unrealistic, probably just a little bit obstructive in terms of what you're seeing, and kind of sightline. But again, I'm a sucker for just building mini models and building kind of scale things. So, and again, I love the new scaling features that we have in Planet Coaster. It's a really kind of good tool to have, especially when you're building theme parks and things. So I wanted to show that off, and I wanted to show that here in the best way that I knew possibly how to do. So the building itself is going to be, as I said before, an iconic structure in the park and make up some of the skyline and sight lines that you'll see in the back of the park. I really wanted it to be something kind of big, if that makes sense. I mean, if you're going to do it, I feel like you've got to do it kind of full scale. But this was one of those moments where, because it's a completely custom structure, I didn't want it to feel as if I'm lacking in certain areas. And as I'm sure you saw from the start of the video, it is still kind of a little bit bare in areas, but I'm happy with where we've got to in terms of a base. But as you can see, it's really straightforward, and it's really simple. I'm just using basic art shapes, so it's quite a constant kind of pattern of orbs, of spheres. I'm not someone who understands shapes very well. I just look at them, color them, and build. So yeah, if if you get confused with any of my descriptions, don't mind me. But yeah, as you can see, it's very simple, just comprising the same shape in different scales. Again, that's not something that we've been able to do before, so it's nice to be able to do it and to be able to feature it in such a way, because I'm going for a semi-particular look with this, because again, this is going to be the big kind of moment. This is going to be the base theme of the park as well. And like I said, you're going to be walking underneath the structure, so it's not like you're going into it. So I thought, why not go kind of crazy on the outside? But you will walk underneath it, and you'll walk through themed kind of areas and plaza sort of vibe, indoors as well, to kind of give it that kind of spacey illusion, which you'll see in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. But as you can see here, I'm just then filling in the gaps in the skyline with smaller shapes, just to kind of give a bit more visual dimension. And again, you're best off, if you're going to do this for yourselves, you're best off using the furthest away zoom as possible at times, because it really gives you that eye of what is actually going to be seen. And again, looking at it from other perspectives, other angles, the fact that we have a first person angle too is really helpful, and you have seen that at the beginning of the video. So it's, again, we're capturing the scale of what we're kind of looking for here, which is again that kind of like Meet the Robinsons, kind of Judy Jetson sort of steampunky, sci-fi, spacey sort of vibe. I'm not really looking at the specifics. I'm just thinking, do you know what? If that looks good, then that looks good. And it goes down straight there. So I'm now building out the plaza here. And essentially, it's quite straightforward. As you can see, same art shapes in rotated kind of formations. I do this a lot with things in the game. I take objects. It's almost like taking something off the rack and doing something crazy with it. Do you know what I mean? And those shapes aren't any exception. I think that's the right word. I don't know. Because again, they're really versatile. I think all of the art shapes in the game are quite versatile, apart from the texture. That's the only problem, because the texture is very flat. It's brilliant, and it's very kind of vibrant and in your face when you need it to be, or it can be very toned down too. But in terms of texture, it's hard to blend it in at times, but it can be done. And yeah, with scaling as well, it's even easier. But as you can see, this is again no exception of simpleness, or simplicity, I guess they say. Because again, as you can see, I'm quite literally just going around copying, pasting all of the simple shapes. You will notice as well that I'm not actually doing any work on the opposing sides where I'm building. That's because I'm using a circular platform. They're in the game, they are brilliant, because especially if you're someone like myself that struggles a little bit with centering things, I wear glasses too, so my eyes are kind of off. The symmetry of the rotational platforms are brilliant, and they're really helpful if you want to create these types of symmetrical builds of kind of big structures and stuff. And I really recommend them to anyone who's trying to kind of figure stuff out. As you can see here, I'm still building things, but it's saving me 3 times more time by having it just replicated, or if anything duplicated, just next to me. And it also gives me another perspective too, because as I'm building, I'm not just looking at the same kind of one side, I'm looking at a completed structure as I'm building it. So we're kind of getting to that almost kind of city effect. It's very Star Warsy, or well, actually I was watching Robots at the time, if you know that film. So it was fully kind of like, do you know what, I'm going to use these orbs, I'm going to make it something that looks so far from reality that it looks just kind of striking and there. Because I find as well that that's what kind of bigger theme parks do. They really, if they're going to do something unrealistic, if they're going to do something that doesn't necessarily make sense, they'll do it to the best of their abilities, because it then really brings something new into it. And I wanted to do that here. So yeah, as you can see, we're pretty much done with that basic structure there, throughout the kind of entrance plaza, and this will then turn into a bit more of a kind of bigger space. I was tossing and toying about what this area was going to be originally, because I wasn't too sure how to kind of format it and figure it out, because I want a water park in this park, I want, you know, quite a few things. So I've had to really kind of go in and be smart, I guess is the phrase, about my planning. So I'm using here the rotational paths that we have in the game, because again, they are, or the rounded paths I should say, because again, having that smooth kind of curve or that circle to be able to just plop down anywhere is brilliant. My only kind of thing is getting smaller stamp sizes, but I don't think I'm alone there. But I used it just to create that big kind of plaza, and then shrunk down the stamp scale when I needed a cutout, to which you saw turns into a bigger plaza. Excuse me. Oh god, that's gross. So yeah, I'm going in here and trying up a idea. So originally, like I said, I was a little bit stuck. I was kind of tossing and toying with a few different things, like doing something out of the Hunger Games and having that big grand capital sort of area. However, I really felt that that wasn't the vibe that I wanted. I really kind of wanted to steer from that, even though it looks almost exactly like that. But that big kind of promenade leading up to where you meet the president, etc. It's, yeah, for me, it's not. It's just, it was good inspiration, but as you'll see in just a moment, I did kind of try it, and I thought having these kind of big wall pieces on either side would be a really good kind of way of bringing you into the world and bringing you into the environment. Because remember, this is just the entrance plaza, so we're not doing anything kind of like, the focus will be on what's behind this area, but because this is the first impression for many, it has to kind of be top tier, or at least in my opinion anyway. I'm also a little bit of a perfectionist, so yeah, that will come out quite a bit throughout the series. And again, talking about the series, I don't actually know if this is going to be a series. Let me know if you like this type of video. I've never done one of these before, to be quite honest with you, and I think there's a reason for that. But we are getting very, very close to the end of the video now. So, like I say, it was really straightforward once I'd kind of got the basic sort of layout, and then everything came after it. So as you can see there as well, the city structures themselves are put on a kind of platform. That becomes really useful in the next episode, but I guess we'll have to save that until next week. Here, all I'm doing is fitting in a ride, because I thought, do you know what, if we're going to have this, and if it's going to be, you know, quote unquote functional with kind of our own tampering, I want it to kind of be realistic in the sense that it would probably have something like this out the back. I don't know. Again, it's something completely custom. So, and you saw me try the monorail there. It's just too big. Well, I think all of the rides are pretty much too big. But then I've gone in with that little tram there, which will turn into something more. So yeah, as you can see, more plaza stuff, more kind of bigger bits in this little B-roll kind of screenshot area that I've done here. But like I say, I cannot tell you how easy this was, and I cannot wait to show you how I've gone in next week and detailed the park, because truly it's something kind of crazy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.